Hi beautiful, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be sitting down and kind of showing you my 15-minute makeup get ready with me / makeup tutorial, and showing you kind of like easier ways to get ready whilst looking presentable, whilst not putting too much effort in but still looking effortless. I feel like it's very important for like getting up for work or even just taking the kids on the run. Like, you don't want to do a whole bunch of stuff, but you kind of want to still look, your best. So this is going to be that video. I don't know what I'm doing with my hands. We're going to just get on into the video. If you are new to my channel, then consider subscribing if you enjoy anything beauty related. I'm going to be doing makeup videos, and I'm going to be doing pregnancy videos because I am 17 weeks pregnant tomorrow, so I'll be doing videos like that. I'll be having some moving ones soon as well, so a whole bunch of different stuff that hopefully you'll enjoy. And if you are already subscribed, then thank you so much as always for being here. I literally love you guys so much, and let's just get on into the video. Right, okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start off with what I do in the morning. So usually this is going to be like a 10 to 15 minute makeup and hair tutorial. So what I would usually start off with is I always start off with my foundation, and I really just feel like if you've got that on and you are still running late, then the next thing to do is to just put mascara on and you can go. Or if worst case scenario, then you literally just have foundation on and you can go as well. So for the foundation at the minute, I've been using a mixture of these two foundations here. So we've got the LA Girl Pro foundations. Now this is fair, and I feel like this is so dark. Like, this is what I would be if I was tanning. Like, it's not the lightest shade in my mind, like, even though it's the lightest shade in the brand's foundation. So you can buy the lightener as well. Now these do cost £10 each, but the foundation is just so good. Like, the actual finish on the skin is gorgeous. If you have dry skin like I do, then this will give you that real like nice dewy kind of look to the skin. It's a little bit, I would say, a little bit like slippy and slidey on the skin. So if you do use this in the summertime, if you are, or if you have got dry skin, then I would just suggest putting a little bit of powder on where you kind of have that little bit more slip and slide on your face. And yeah, you are good to go. But it is such a good foundation. So I start off by putting, like, I would say a generous like 1 pump, and then I usually do about the same. I would do about 1 pump with the white as well, and I just mix these two together. The thing is, this is so like customizable. Like, you can completely change the color of it with the lightener. The only problem is I feel like the more lightener you use, it changes the formula slightly, and it kind of also gives it like an ashy look to the skin, which I find really weird. I'm going to just put the tiniest bit more just because it's still a little bit dark. But yeah, I would say that if you are going to be picking up the lightener, because you are like me and you are very fair, then just be aware that it can start to look a bit like, it can change the formula, so it won't be as kind of like dewy as if you just had the foundation on its own. The thing is though, it's weird because when I use this foundation when I'm tanned, obviously I'm going to have like much more range because it only goes darker anyway, and then the foundation just looks so much better. But at the minute, unfortunately, they don't do a lighter shade, so we'll just have to do this. But what I like to do is I literally just put on everything that's on the back of my hand onto my face, because if you're kind of like rushing around in the morning, I like to give myself 15 minutes, like a 15-minute max to get ready. So if I've kind of like applied my foundation and stuff, you know, then we're kind of good to go. Because what you're going to do is you're going to go in with your beauty blender. So I usually go in with a dry beauty blender. I used to go in with like a damp one, but I feel like it just soaks up so much of the product that it's kind of pointless. So I actually do prefer using a dry beauty sponge, and I can just like kind of push the product into the skin and you're not losing any product either. I feel like I'm being so formal with you guys today. So obviously I've not been around on YouTube, so obviously I just wanted to address that, which I did in the last 2 videos, and I am going to be doing a load more videos that are going to be coming up, and I'm also going to try and kind of get back into the swing of things and the consistency and stuff like that. But obviously we'll see. I do feel a lot better, but I definitely do have bad days with pregnancy at the moment, so I'm just trying to kind of like do what I can do. But yeah, I just kind of miss sitting down with you and having a little chit chat, and to be honest with you, just doing makeup, because that's exactly what I started my channel by doing. I started my channel by doing makeup, and unfortunately it's kind of gone down the kind of road where I don't do it as much, and I think that's just because obviously I had so many problems with like my eyes and stuff like that, so I kind of had to stop. But my eyes are still very sensitive. I just have to be very wary what I use. So that is foundation done, and like I say, if you're at this stage and you are running super late, you stick your mascara on and you can go. And whilst I'm doing that, I'll then go and do my brow. So always I've used the Wet n Wild retractable brow pencil. I absolutely love this. This is like £2 something or £3 on Beauty Bay. So I mean, I'm sorry if the lights are going crazy. Like I put them on a mix, so they are having a little meltdown in the background, but yeah, I'm sorry about that if that is annoying you. But yeah, anyway, so I picked up I use this every day just because it's just so easy to use. I'm trying to think, I think you get quite, yeah, so this is relatively new, and I would say you get quite a lot of product in that. It is very creamy, but at the same time it's not creamy where it's hard to use. I personally just find it so easy to use, and the fact that it's also really cheap as well is just an absolute bonus. So what I tend to do, especially in the week, is I will just kind of follow my natural brow and just fill it in where it already is, just to kind of give it a bit more definition. And I've also plucked my brows just at the end, like plucked them kind of off so that I can redo the shape of them, and it kind of like lifts your face ever so slightly as well. Like where mine were like really rounded before, I felt like it wasn't giving me enough room to work with, like with eyeshadow, and it was also kind of bringing my face down a little bit. So I have taken that off just at the end. So yeah, if you have very similar brows to me and you want to kind of get that lifted eye look, just take like the last few hairs off of the brow, and it will kind of just give you that like lifted look to the brow. So yeah, I tend to just do that, and then I grab the spoolie and I will just lightly feather that through to the front, just so it's like a lot more softer, and then I'll just brush through the rest of the hairs like that, just to kind of give it a more softer look. Okay, so moving on to eyes, what I tend to do is I would just go in with a bronzer, which I would assume most people do if they're not doing like a whole eyeshadow look. But this is the Hello Sunshine bronzer from Sunkissed, which I'm sure they do this brand in like Home Bargains and B&M places like that, and it's really affordable. All of the products that I'm talking about today are really affordable as well, and you can easily get your hands on them, especially if you're in the UK or anywhere, to be fair, because I usually shop a lot of the time on Beauty Bay, and I know that that is kind of like, I'm sure it must be worldwide, but I would take a bit of the bronzer, just going to dab over that line. I hate that concealer, not concealer but foundation line, so I literally get the tiniest amount, buff that right into that crease, and this will take like the eye look from like a blank flat canvas to something with a bit of shape to it, and it kind of lifts up the brow as well. And this is so easy to do. That was literally one I done with whatever excess I have. If you think that this side looks darker than this, it's because I have actually got a light here, but they are the same. So what, I don't know actually, are they? This one's a little bit darker too. So what I do then is I take whatever excess is on the brush just to go under my eyes a little bit, because I usually get little foundation or concealer lines or whatever that you kind of get where it sets into the lines under your eye. With the tiniest bit of powder, you don't have to then cake powder on. You can use the tiniest bit of bronzer, the tiniest bit, like you've literally just used it for the top of your eye, and then you just run it along the bottom like that, and with whatever excess powder is already on the brush, it will fill in those lines so you won't get those kind of concealer creases or foundation creases under the eye. So then at this stage, because like I said, the foundation is a little bit like dewy and it can feel a bit like it's moving around on the skin, I go in with the Bourjois Mineral Radiance powder, which just looks like this, and this is like a proper old school powder. I think I've had this for so long, but it doesn't look cakey on the skin. I've always struggled with just having dry and flaky skin, and everything, even higher end stuff, has looked really dry on my skin, and this is the only one that doesn't. So if you are like me and you suffer with the same thing, then powder is literally perfect, because you don't get that like powder marks or where it just sits on top of the skin. So I just kind of dab that on the areas that I feel is obviously gonna crease up or feel a bit greasy or a bit like it's sliding around. Just sort of dab it into the skin, and we are done with that. Just get your bronzer again and just kind of literally, I go in like a couple of dabs like that, tap off the excess, give yourself a bit of colour just so your face isn't looking really flat. So yeah, what I'll do at this stage is I will then do my mascara. So this is like the last, pretty much the last stage of makeup. Now, because my eyes have been really sensitive recently, and anything that I put kind of near the lash line, it flares up. So the only mascara that I found not to aggravate my eyes is the Bourjois Volume Clubbing Ultra Black Mascara, which I don't know if you had this when you was at school, but what I do is I prime my lashes with this, because I know this isn't gonna like irritate my lash line. I find to be really helpful with mascara is if you kind of like sit up straight and literally look forward, like dead in front of you, and then just kind of like blink onto the brush. It gets right up into the like root of the lashes, and then you have like a way more lifted lash. And I'll do this with two different like, you look like a crazy person but I would do this with two different mascaras, so it kind of gives me that really lifted look, because as much as this mascara is really nice and is kind of sensitive on my eyes, it doesn't have the drying power that I would prefer, where, you know, it feels like your lashes are completely dry and they're not going to move, and all the hard work that you've done getting them to be like lifted and all the rest of it is kind of like gonna move as soon as you finish. Like, it doesn't have that drying power. So I literally look crazy. I make sure that my lashes are completely primed, they're all kind of lifted up like I kind of want them to, and I will let those dry. Usually as well, what I'll do is, if I'm letting these dry, I might do my mascara after my brows, and then I'll do my face whilst that's kind of drying, especially if I'm really running late. So like I say, I give myself about 15 minutes, and then if worst case scenario, I'll just like pick certain things off. I'll just have a foundation, I have my brows, I have my mascara, and whatever. If everything is going okay, then I can have like the makeup that I've got. So it kind of looks like you've got no makeup on, very kind of understated and effortless. but you've put in a little bit more work than necessary. But you can still do it in 15 minutes. So I feel like you can still do it quite quickly. And if that is like way more time than you do have, then just take a couple of things out. Maybe not do like the bronzer and stuff like that, and the bronzer in the crease. Just do your brows mascara. But the trick that I do have with the mascara really does lift the lashes. So sometimes I feel like you don't need to go like the full hog with it, because you can kind of like go in with the mascara and make your lashes look really long. So what I tend to do, they feel dry now, is I will then do the exact same thing. So I will look forward like this and get right into like the root of my lashes like I did the first time. Keep blinking. I definitely feel like this helps. So if I just show you quick, like it just really lifts them up, and I feel like sometimes that's just like all you need. The mascara that I actually really do like, I really rate is the Primark Dramatic Lash one, volume and length. I find that this dries like really well. So the whole reason why I feel like my lashes look really good is because of this one. So I always prime with this one, like I say, because I know that it's not going to aggravate my lash, and then I go over the top with this one and it just creates like the perfect lash combination. So the next thing that I have is the Primark Glow Setting Spray. This is a bit of a weird one actually. Sometimes if you leave it, it has like all this glitter particles like inside, like this kind of, like obviously in here where it squirts through, I feel like sometimes like all that glitter gets stuck. But if you, instead of like shaking it, because it can get jammed, the best thing is to kind of like wave it from side to side. But this is so nice. Before, when I actually first bought it, I thought it was awful because I had like glitter all over my face, but now it seems to have like a bit of more of a steady flow, and it really does give the skin like a gorgeous dewy look. And it also kind of like gets rid of all the powders off of your face if you have dry skin, and it just kind of sets the makeup, which I find really perfect. So I just spray this all over my face, just like that, so you can kind of see like it will just absorb all the powders and just make the skin look really fresh and nice. And as well, like with my hair, so if I'm like this, I will leave my hair. If my hair is okay and playing ball, then it will stay like this. But 9 times out of 10, I've plaited my hair the night before, and when I wake up in the morning, it seems to be okay. Like it seems to be working. So I just end up, like if you plait your hair the night before, then you've already saved yourself like a hairstyle already. So it's definitely worth it, especially if it's slightly damp, then you'll get that even like kind of even more of a wave. But if your hair isn't playing ball and you're having issues with it, then obviously just stick it up. So yes, that is the finished makeup slash hair get ready with me. It's not really a tutorial, I guess it is a tutorial, but at the same time it's just like a get ready with me quick and easy style. And I know I wasn't super chatty necessarily to you guys, but I just thought that I would do like an easy makeup tutorial because I know that they're so helpful, and I've just found a way of kind of looking presentable and looking natural but still feeling like you've got enough makeup on, especially if you're like me and you just feel a little bit more confident with makeup on. I mean, in no way shape or form is my hair okay, like, but if I am kind of doing like the drop off or the school run or whatever, then you know it's gonna do, innit? It's gonna do. So yes, that is the end of the video. I really hope that you enjoyed it. If you are new to my channel, then consider subscribing if you enjoy this kind of content. I'll be doing pregnancy videos, moving vlogs when that kind of all happens. It'll be quite an exciting year, and also just kind of like a load of videos that I personally like watching on other people's channels, and Hopefully you'll enjoy watching it too. So yeah, if you enjoy any of those things, then head over to my channel and have a little look through my videos. And if you are already subscribed, then thank you so much for being here and for watching. It means the absolute world to me, and just your support is absolutely everything. I really hope that you're doing okay, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye guys.